Beautiful Borgers, I believe we are live. Very excited for this session, bringing the one of the first Borg assembly. I couldn't be more excited than doing this with our dear co-founder Anthony. How's it going?
Yeah, very good, Cyrus. Happy to be here.
Sorry, I was hearing my back noise at the same time, so it was a bit awkward. Um, well, today it's going to be a really important one. It's really about creating a legacy together, creating that the Borg is really in the heart of our ecosystem, but bringing as well the community at the heart of our ecosystem. I think so. This is where it's really, really different from the others, right? We have multiple different AMAs. We had this for a long time, but I think so. We're bringing back Borg to its essence, bringing back to the heart, bringing back to how we as an ecosystem have to grow together and have this two-way conversation. And I couldn't be more excited than having all these beautiful, yeah, lovely people here. Mickey, it's great to have you. Steve Hess, awesome. Percola, of course. Blockbuzzers, Host 96, Cyber Investors. Benji, that you're on vacation. Glad that you're enjoying your surf, but at the same time, you're here when the community loves. Great to have Roman, of course, Boloron, and thanks for the message earlier. Sina, SwissBorg Mania, of course, Chris, Karine, Kurzborger, Bands, Christo, so many people here, Nico Coconuts, the two burgers that have helped us navigate all these different cycles. And I couldn't be more excited than being this cycle. This is the cycle where a lot of things are finally getting to our fruits are finally happening. And yeah, what about yourself, Anthony? Tell me a bit. How's it going your side? How do you think this cycle is moving so far, and how great it is? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely every cycle bring new surprises. There is different meta. There's things that are in play. Today, someone told me for the ones that are on the timeline, you've seen the AI agent narrative is going very strong. Someone told me it's the metaverse of this cycle, and I think it was a good analogy. So definitely, there is a bunch of things that are happening that are very, very strong. And yeah, I think the other part is that's more the micro analysis. The micro analysis is we have very positive momentum of what is happening in the US. Um, Again, is the market is super optimistic, and we know, yeah, you have to be. Again, is it's I'm very optimistic about the future, but part of investing as well is sometimes is to know what's your goal and not FOMOing too much, and that's the hardest part. But definitely
Couldn't agree
excited.
more. Couldn't agree more. C- The big thing about this month is to have a monthly live. So every month we'll have this. Right now it's going to be happening in the mid-month. I think so. Then going forward is going to be the end of the month. So next month we'll have the same one around the same dates on the Tuesday that we're pressing the powwows. This chapter is to cover what has been already talked about. So about the DEX and SUX update, the talk as well the new white paper. We're talking about the BORG Vaults, and we're as well going to talk about what's going to happen for the next votes, right? So talk about essentially why we should have a next vote and what's going to be the topic on. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. It's going to be roughly 40 minutes, and then at the end there's questions. Anyone could ask any random question, and hopefully we'll be able to answer them. So again, really focusing on Borg being the DEX future is really what we want. Borg itself and the governance 2.0, and last but not least, the vaults. As you know, our vision has been for a long time is financial freedom for humanity, right? And the mission is democratizing wealth management by making it fun, fair, and community centric. This has been really our paradigm and doing it for you guys. And couldn't be more excited than having a beautiful new Borger family picture. A lot of nice pictures that are there. If you're not on it, well, please let us know. But it's really cool to have a lot of new people. I mean, not new people, but just new pictures of people on this wonderful, yeah, family picture, which is really cool. Really nice pictures here. Again, if you don't want to be part of it, I think so. We did a tweet about that on the main Twitter channel. Um, I don't want to go too much into these details, but today, we are one of the biggest wealth management ecosystem out of crypto in Europe. We're licensed in different places, which is in France, but as well Estonia. We have 150,000 BORG token holders in the app. We have 1.7 billion of assets, 800,000 KYC users, and right now 140,000, maybe even more, 180, 70,000 active users with what's happening. So, which is really cool. I won't go through this because you probably already know what do we do, but we have these 7 layers that does really awesome things. The community initiative has been a lot about the BORG pad. You guys had an interview recently with Anthony and Danielle, which was awesome. So no need to go right into that. Um, Maybe the one thing that's very important here is the vision of the BORG token and how it has evolved, but as well, what is it standing today? And I think so. I believe that very important is that it's a token that empowers everyone to reach financial freedom by unlocking wealth and growing opportunities. And this is something that I think so is very, very important. It's just more than the premiums, right? It really gives you a lot of different services that enables you to get these great opportunities. And another thing that is very important that we haven't done so much besides last previous session was the tool to enable collective participation for the good of the ecosystem. And the Guardians has been a great initiative, I think so. And this is, I think so, a new way to really empower ourselves and to collectively bring the best out of it by voting on things that we do care, that will enable us to make the right decisions to grow our wealth, your wealth personally, but as well the one of SwissBorg. And of course, to help the Borg to get to where it deserves to be. Last vote. Anthony, can you explain us a bit what you thought about last vote and how this was important?
There was a realignment on our core mission, which is to provide fair, community-centric, as you say, opportunity to people in order for themselves to become financially free. As you guys start to understand, is we're meeting a lot of founders and project at the moment, and we pitch them the better than sex experience because that's not only what we believe in, but as well that's the technology we've been building for. So I think it's a realignment between what we say and what we do, and it's basically walking the talk because we have to show that the Borg can have a second success and it could be done exclusively on chain. And that will inspire a lot of people to give up on the mentality to believe that sex are essential to succeed. So not only it's coherent with what we preach, but as well, I think it's are we going to create a success story with the BORG token getting back to the all-time high, and do that in a way that is very aligned with what we believe is the way these days.
Beautifully brought. We won't go through the whole things, but essentially, we had over 10,000 people that voted. 55% decided to focus on DEXs, which was great. The cohort of users is pretty much the same. Basically, those who, were small fishes to the big whales pretty much had the same type of thing going on, which was nice to see. Um, Interesting to see as well that countries as well is pretty much the same. There was not no huge difference between different countries. So it was right to see that it was quite a homogeneous type of decision and based on all the cores pretty much behaved in the same way. Um, what happened next, which is very important. So right now we have really 3 CEXs that we're connected to, which is Bitfinex, HitBTC, and somewhere Huobi or HTX it's called today. The idea is we've obviously alerted Bitfinex that we will stop doing market making there, which eventually would enable us to get delisted. So this is happening. It's probably going to take another 2 weeks for this. HitBTC, we're in discussions as well. and there's no market making that's done, at least from our end over there. So we're in discussions right now for being removed. And Hobby, we don't believe, yeah, there's no market making operations. So yeah, we'll see how things evolve with them, but the activity that there is very small and minimum, which is very important. Focusing only on DEXs and bringing the volume through there, it doesn't mean that we'll never be on sexes. There was a sex that just listed us today. We don't know these guys. Forgot the name. It's a small sex. Anyone will be able to do that. They just need to buy a certain amount of our tokens and then, do whatever they feel like. This is something important. But what we want is to walk our walk and make sure that we're really avoiding the sex cartels that are imposing these market makers and are avoiding essentially to bring the biggest amount of value to you guys, our dear token holders. So this is very important. Do you want to add something here, Anthony?
No, as you recall it, I think the delisting is could be seen as an abuse, a little bit of terminology, because that's the beauty of crypto. I can take your token without getting any of your approval and create a market on the exchange, which is very healthy, because then you help with your own mean to make this a success. But if you ask me to be listed on your exchange and pay a market maker and creating fake volume and etc., all this practice, we're not partners, right? I have to pay a tax in order to get exposure on your exchange, which in return remove value from my holders, because that's the money I don't spend for my product. That's the money I don't spend for my own marketing, and especially because we have probably the most beautiful place to trade and buy tokens. We don't need these guys. So it's not about delisting, it's about stopping the activity that we believe are wrong in the centralized exchange, and let the centralized exchange review their model in order to adapt their services to a more healthy attitude.
Perfect. Let's move on. The board governance. I think so. This is something that is very important. If you guys remember, since 2018, it's all about being governance, and I think so. We put that a little bit on the side, and we always preach a community at SwissBorg, but realistically, there's been one voice doing the leading at SwissBorg. And I think so. This is something that we dramatically have to change, right? The relationship of a company and its customers is something that we never really wanted, and we will never support it because, at the end, of course, we believe that as people, employees, we probably have much more to do than you guys, right? That is makes sense. But we still are a community, and a community should be able to really take very, very, very strong decisions and own these decisions as well. And we have to move along like that. So this is the reason that from tonight and each month that follows, we'll instate the values of the community, a two-way conversation in which you guys, which is very important, define Borg's future through monthly votes. And I think so. This is something that is extremely important that we together as a community should face. Yeah, the important decisions, the strategic decisions that enable us to be financial free. And couldn't be more excited than getting to this. We have wrote a white paper, which majorly Anthony did in 2017, summer 2017. And we've wrote multiple white papers then again that we haven't released. And I think the most exciting part about a white paper is to figure out the big vision. And I believe the vision and the mission is what we've already put together. And I think so. No, everyone knows all of that. However, writing a second white paper has been extremely difficult. We've put our hands with Anthony, start writing it, and I did, and many others, and beautiful people from the community have looked at it and like, oh, this is good, this is not good, this is good, this is not good. And the more we thought, and the more I was realizing, well, the only way we can write a real great white paper is if we write it together. So this is the first community white paper that Borg holders will vote on the direction of the Borg every month, and that one chapter will publish every month the first and the new fixed day, new next few days. Sorry. And so right now it's chapter one. It's about the board guild and governance. Really, the theme's about empowering ownership. This is really what we're bringing to the table. And then each month, you guys will vote on what will happen. So in some way, we are. It's like an interactive white paper where it will become public, of course, after each powwow. After each, sorry, monthly Borgers assembly, and where you guys will decide of the faith if we're going to left, we're going to right, or if we're going nowhere, essentially. So this, I think, is something that no one has really came up to, and we could be extremely proud. And it's a good way to all of us to participate in it. So I don't know what's your thoughts, Anthony, about this.
Yeah, it's very good. I think the part, as Cyrus mentioned, we write a lot of our white paper and different objective, but I think what we realized by doing this process of going to the complexity is because we never expose you to the knowledge. We don't embark you in the journey of thinking very deeply and giving you all the elements that lead to a decision. Then we release this white paper, and only few of you guys that actually spend a lot of time trying to understand what's going on can make sense of this white paper. So when Cyrus came back to me saying, "No, I don't want to do another complexity. It's, you love to call me Socrates." So he say, "You, it's too much. It's too much, basically." But if we write together with the community and we trying to simplify to the simplest extent of what it could be, which is a decision, then we are going to invent something new, and then that's where the idea was born. I think it's a great idea.
And yeah, I love the book as well, the interactive books when you're a kid. So it always been like something that would be make sense. So yeah, I mean, I believe this is the best way we could grow together because we will understand each chapter how important it is, and then we'll co-write it together. So again, the chapter one is about board rewards and governance, empowering ownership. This is what we're talking about today, and you already started to vote for this, and I think so the Guardians know what we're talking about here. And if you don't know yet, you're gonna know right now, or shall we? Yeah, we could go into it right away. So a month ago, the Guardians have voted on something very exciting, which was why not having vaults? Vaults where you could be able to yield Borg tokens. So you heard me right. How you could deposit Borg within SwissBorg and start earning yield on top of it. I couldn't be more excited than today to tell all of you guys that starting tonight in 10 minutes or so, or maybe it's already in the app, I'm not too sure, you'll be able to have two different vaults. These two vaults will be eligible first for the Guardians. Well, the Guardians, you've been discipline, showing skin in the game. You've been participating to many different Guardian votes. So the first one will be only for you guys to really privilege those have been, religiously bringing a lot of votation and being a great citizen of the SwissBorg nation. So you'll get up to 10% APY, which is awesome, the 60-day lock. Obviously, depending on your tier level, you'll be able to well bring a lot of crypto, a lot of Borg or not. Genesis being 50K, Generation 40K, Pioneer 30K, Community 20K, a max limit, Explorer 10K, and Standard only 5K. Obviously, making sure that yeah, we favorizing always our beautiful premiums. Um, the second vault will be open for everyone, and it's up to 5%. And again, the max investment will be depending on your premium tier. This will be again a 60-day lock, which is very important. This has the lowest risk possible in the app, just to make things sure. So I hope you guys are very excited about that. This is a vote that you've actually put together, and this is obviously something that we could always continue going forward if you feel that you're excited about having a yield on the Borg and bringing value to SwissBorg ecosystem. Anthony, anything about this?
I think we have something even more exciting coming. So which is
But for sure, I think so. Having the yield, be getting rewards before staking your Borg token is something that many people have been asking for a lot of time. And this, as Chris would say, it's great news. So you decide. Um, chapter two. And I think so. This is something that I would love you to hear about is what if we could do more than this, right? Well, how can we really improve a lot? And before that, I think so. This is for Kendo. I hope you're listening, Kendo, because this is really for you. Not only, but I think so. A lot of people have been asking for token economics. We're rebuilding the website of SwissBorg, where we're going to have the Borg that is going to be really on a separate, a bit like website, a bit like XBG. So they've done a lot of right things, I think so, and I think so. We our Borg and our website is not at the best. So we'll have this that'll be an even better. What's very important is always being transparent and being aligned. And I think so. This is to show you how much we are transparent and aligned with our token holders here at SwissBorg. So if you remember back in the days when we did our ICO in 2017, 2018, we 625 million out of the 1 billion were sold during the ICO. 20% of those kept for the core team and 17.5% for future reserves. Um, what we have today is for the people that remain at Swissborg, which represents essentially pretty much everyone besides two people. We have more than 80% of the tokens that remains for the core team. And this is quite amazing if you think about it. After 8 years, having or 7 years and a half, almost 8 years, having 80%, I think so tokens really shows the strong devotion that the Swissborg team has for that. And out of the 175 million, there's 55 million and still in reserve that belongs to Swissborg, the company.
yeah.
And
And
if you guys, yes,
Cyrus, if I can add something as well, what you need to understand is on this 80 left, but so the 20 that has been spent, a lot of them has been actually used for incentivizing newcomers in the company, some KOL as well partnership. So we never been shy into giving our own tokens, especially myself and Cyrus, to people that we believe will provide value to the ecosystem. So there's really a big part as well of how it has been distributed is whenever we felt that someone can bring something. I remember I even give my token to someone that create this strong order at the very beginning, and I say anyone that belong to your group, I will give you 10% reward, and they end up owning a lot of tokens, a lot of them. So that's
could it,
how we function as well.
thank you for bringing that up. That is very, very true. So, like the airdrops that happen sometimes with Twitter, internally, it's yeah, it's 100x that. I all the time am very famous for giving a lot of bar tokens as rewards in the company because that's how I feel we're aligned with most people, um, and that's very important. And with other partnerships, that has been always the case as well, where people get rewarded in Borg tokens because again, it gets alignments, which makes very sense. Um, to continue that on that, so on the 17.5% that we have, as you see, there was actually half of that was distributed to employees as rewards out of the last 6 years. Was at Swissborg, 7 years. Each 6 months, you have essentially bonuses, and bonuses are distributed in Borg tokens to make sure we're aligned. So yeah, half of the 17.5% was only given to employees, and on top, Anthony and myself have been giving a lot of our personal tokens. Um, but then there was 5% of that was done during the ICO itself for marketing costs, for like campaigns, bounties, and advisors. Um, There was as well 21 million, so 2% of that was taken through referrals and giveaways out of the last 5 years that we have the app pretty much. The yield and the referendum as well, that's been a big portion where 5.6% of total supply was distributed to you guys here that are
Mhm.
listening. And last but not least, there was essentially 16 million, so 1.6% of the total supply that was burnt, as you guys know. And SwissBorg has acquired the 104 million in buyback. As you guys know, we have a big portion. We have different initiatives that goes for buybacks. One for exactly this one today, and obviously different ones. So this is something that's important. This we publish on the website, of course, as well. But I hope that this gives good clarity and to show that the alignment that we have with Borg is better than, yeah, it's very strong. Diamond hands, as a few people have yeah, have really talked about it. And again, 90% of my wealth is in Borg token. That's people should know that as well. Borg token rewards. What do you want, Anthony? I'll let you start with this one because I've been talking too much.
Yeah, so as you guys understand, part of our success as well is making the BORG token great again for sure, and we're working very hard into making this a success. But as well is to nurture an ecosystem around us that is very successful. The secret of how we are going to win in the future is to not only create a great ecosystem around us, but as well nurture founders and token within the app. So these token in the app that are very successful. So part of listing in the app tokens that are better than CEX, that really align with this new philosophy, is on one hand to source great founders, and it's hard, but as well to nurture them internally. And I think one of the very successful project that we managed to birth internally with XBorg, and again, not only it's a success as a singular level, but as well it is something that inspires us to create more and more projects that follow this line. And we have, of course, some success, some other are less successful. But more importantly, when you nurture this project, we take a huge part of their supply, because not only we provide them expertise, we provide them with some very, very little capital, by the way. But more importantly, and that's the most difficult, that's the biggest challenge in crypto, we provide them with the community. And trust me, guys, starting a project with an existing community is such a head start. It is a game changer. And
That's
as
the
a
most difficult,
consequence,
I would
that's the
say.
most the consequence of that is then every project understand that it's much better to uh, being supported by SwissBorg from the get-go and giving up a part of your supply than paying a huge amount of your supply just to get listed on Binance and be one among many other tokens, because you don't get the community. You get traders that just want to trade your price and goes away. What you guys give to this project is so much love, support, and you give them the eco that are necessary for any of them to exist. So what we decided to do is to decide together with you what we are going to do with this supply, and that's going to be the chapter 2. And I'm sure, Cyrus, you have a lot to say about it.
Yeah, I think so. That's the whole point, right? Is because Anthony, myself, when you're successful at doing things, you would like to replicate them. Um, but exiting from Swissborg would be somewhere very difficult for both of us to not get to our final goal with bringing, 1 million people to be financially free and being really honest with it. I think so. So we always had the way to say like, okay, how do we still bring more value to the ecosystem, which is Web3, by curating these different projects, making spin-offs with people that we love and we work with, or just finding talents and saying, okay, gaming is awesome. Louis is fantastic. How do we do that? How do we bring Borg Pad and let the community go for that? How do we make partnerships with Galactica and try to bring, something new into data monetization? How do we go with other different projects that are really good regarding restaking, for example, and try to help these projects to collectively bring a lot of strong interests to ourselves as investors, but as well bring more than that as the community, right? And I think so. That's the big question today is we fought internally, right? And I think so this is when I mean fought. We are hard to decide. And I said, what if the community goes on this one? Um, is all the tokens that we have as a company, should it go 100% back to BORG token holders? Or, if you vote against it, which means that you prefer that some tokens go to the company, that we could keep it as rewards for, let's say, employees, or we could keep it as treasury and grow our revenues, or we could keep it for whatever we believe as, then it won't go to necessarily only to BORG token holders. And I think so that's the type of ideas and type of questions that we believe you guys have the right to decide on this. At the end, we're here today because you believed in us in 2017. We're here today and stronger because you guys believed in us in the Series A in 2023. And I really think that these questions are extremely important and will change a lot of utilities and how we reward people in the app. And I think so. This is something that I'm very excited to ask you guys. What do you think about it? Right? Again, the question for the chapter two is: should 100% of SwissBorg ecosystem tokens be allocated as rewards for Borg token holders? Um, So that's a very exciting one. That's the one that will give you probably a new way to be able to earn Borg, I mean, more than Borg tokens, essentially. So, Anthony, excited about this one?
Very much.
Another thing that we've got as well, which was a very strong feedback from many people, um, is we're going to simplify. I think so. A lot of things we've done at SwissBorg is always try to take the best of a lot of different models and put them together. Let's stop that bullshit. It's going to be very easy. How does the voting mechanism work? It's one Borg equals one vote. So if you have 10 Borgs and the other one has 5 Borgs, well, then you have twice as much voting power. If you have 1 million Borgs and one person has 10 Borg, well, you will have essentially 100,000 times more voting power than another person. So this is very, very important. I think so. This could really enable us as well to go back to the drawing board and go back to the basics, which again, what we used to do for the first and the second referendum, if you guys remember, you had one bar token, you would receive one RSB, and then you would vote for it, and that's it. So right now the presentation is being done. We explained you like the two versions of the question of what would it be to keep essentially the BORG tokens, sorry, the SwissBorg ecosystem tokens for the entire BORG token holders, or to keep a part for it for SwissBorg. You could vote yes or no. So if you yes, that means you will actually get 100% of all the rewards as BORG token holders. And the vote will start opening tomorrow, and then it will go until Sunday, and then the announcements, the results will happen in next powwow, which is really cool. You'll receive a link to vote an app via email or an app. Yeah. Um, Anthony, are you excited about the one Borg, one vote?
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, I think part of our success was to make things simple. So let's make things simple.
On-chain voting will probably will happen as well. There's cool different initiatives there that we're putting in place. For now, will happen in app. But yes, I think so. On chain would be very cool as well. Talking about cool numbers and cool stuff happening in SwissBorg right now. A lot of things are going well, as you could imagine. The price of the token is doing quite well. The numbers of premium people are growing a lot. 448 upgrades and new premium holders, which is really, really cool. We have added almost 1,000 more token holders in the app since last powwow. Um, SwissBorg app as well, numbers are higher than ever. 1.7 almost billion of assets, 165,000 users that are active, a lot amount of trades, 170,000 trades, was 4 times more than 2 weeks ago, which is really, really beautiful to see. Net flow is still a bit low, and KYC as well. The numbers of KYC is still a little bit low, to be honest. But that gives us a great community index. I will let you cast or try to figure out what is our community index. It's obviously a nice one. So, what is your take, Anthony? You saw it earlier, so I'm not gonna ask you what it is. But you guys could cast your take on there. SwissBorg explain 8.8. Micha, that is nice one. Crypto CG is a bit bearish, 7. Loic is 9.5. Key Royal is 9.6. Momo is 9.2. Stomach and Babata. I don't know if you knew it, but well done, guys. Everything is the bull market beer team is on fire. Yeah, I mean, look, it really shows where we're at right now. It shows as well that things are pumping in the right direction, which is great. Um, and that yeah, what we're doing is coming to sense. I think so, which is very nice, and I love having that. You know, we are one of the most beautiful ecosystem in terms of community, product, vision, mission, and I think so. Our token has not reflect this, and I think so. It's time to act on and act on seriously. So the yield on Borg is open in the app. So now no one's gonna listen to us, Anthony. It's done. We could say whatever we want. No one's gonna be listening right now. They're gonna be like, okay, let's just pledge as much as Borg as I can. Uh,
I was in a call with Virtual Beacon just before we joined this live, and he told me something
Kevin,
interesting.
he's cool,
Yeah,
man. I like that guy.
and he told me uh, actually the perception in the space, not Kevin Dennis, like the Virtual Beacon.
Dennis,
The
sorry, not Kevin. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
My bad.
And he told me the perception is you guys are the decentralized centralized exchange, and that was funny. Like you the you the DeX CEX. That was funny because we don't like to define ourselves as a CEX, but more as a crypto app because we don't have an order book, we don't do all this bullshit. But anyway, that's he said the perception because of the community and the vibe is you guys trying to do things very decentralized. And I think it's cool, and definitely it's not only about the technology; it's about how we approach things with the community for sure.
And aspiration, right? Um, which goes. We have a short amount of time for any questions. So will people in the UK be able to use yields as we did before? That's a very good question. I imagine yes. I imagine yes. I mean, you should see it right now. So Craig, let me know. I can imagine yes. I wouldn't understand why you wouldn't. Um, Finally, some token e-commerce transparency, Luca. That's not a question, but yes. In-app voting, that's going to happen. We're working on a cool way. Benji, he's not here. I mean, he's in the comments, so we'll let him really be able to comment on that one. But the loyalty squad is working on this. Where will where will the yield BORG Vaults come from? That's a very important question. Um, it comes from here, right? And if you understand here that there's a portion that is reserved for this, right? And that comes from right here, the Guardian pot. So we will have this Guardian pot and we fulfill it every month by buybacks that happen. And the idea is to continue to have something that is that it's different from what we had in the past. We really want to make a reward system that is much more sustainable than what was done in the past. So for this one, it's going to be decided like that, and then we're going to have different other vaults and different other ways to get rewards. But we always want to bring the sustainability to make sure that it's just not you're just not passive, right? I think so. That's the main thing at SwissBorg, and especially now, this marketplace and how this voting system is taking in place, and how the Guardians have decided about the faith about SwissBorg is really we need you guys to be active. And if people don't have time for that, I completely understand. There's so much other different things to be done, but this is really for people that want to be rewarded because you could buy a gym membership but if you don't work out, you're never going to get to where you want, right? And that discipline is what we need to be as seen as a community. Other questions, Swissborg, when Portuguese language or Spanish? Rui, that's a very good question. I don't think that any of the two is planned yet. It shouldn't be that difficult though. If you believe that there's a big push to be made there, that could be a good way to do things. Um, I know there's talks about the whenever we get the Mika license to translate the app in Dutch. That's something that we've talked about. Um, yes, yield works for UK Borg. There you go. Awesome. Thanks, Harry, for that beautiful picture with Alex. Um, Well, Borgers, the second phase of the bull run is on, and this should probably help the Borg token itself and the influx of new. Oh, wow, yeah, Borg token's doing well, yeah, 23.85 right now. Nice. Yeah, let's roll to 30 cents, guys. That's what we need. Yeah, really roll to 30 cents. Anthony, you want to conclude with something nice?
Yeah, absolutely. As always, guys, I think the for sure we know the new tokens. So you see a lot of new tokens every day. They go crazy and they'll pump down. And as someone tell me today, moon or dust. But for sure, a lot of them will finish in dust. Even if they go to the moon, they will not land very well. So uh, at SwissBorg, we've been always building for 7 years, still standing strong. As you guys understand, we still have a lot of tokens at the personal level to be aligned. It's very important to be aligned. I think the day I will feel I'm not aligned anymore, I'm not incentivized, I will quit. But these days, it's not tomorrow. So we'll be working very hard. I think the platform we've been building is amazing. We meet a lot of founders. They don't live in the trenches. They don't necessarily want to participate in the meme coin mania, even though it's very tempting. And I'm sure, like we are going to shine very, very, very strong because what we bring to the space is essential. We have now to work into making that louder and louder and louder, and that's the goal.
Couldn't agree more. I think so. We have it all, to be honest. We have you guys. We have one of the best app. Um, we have a great mission and a great ethos. We really have been building this for now, 8 years, relentless. We had a lot of highs. We had some lows, which is, the yin and yang of life. And I think so. One thing that no one will never doubt is our drive of how we want to really help you guys to be financial free. I mean, some of you already are, thanks to us. Some people manage by themselves. Some people are born financially free, but there's still a lot of people are not there. And I really, really, really hope that each cycle you guys get closer and closer to those goals, and that the board plays a huge role in that. This is something that I committed to myself. I think so. I could speak for Anthony, I could speak for Alex Fazel, I could speak for Nicola, our CTO, I could speak for Jeremy, I speak for Christoph. I could speak for probably, most of every employee we have at SwissBorg. And this dedication is really something that, we really need to let know everyone. And what we see today in the meme coins, which is a lot of fair lunches, the beautiness of being all together in something cool and fun, innovative, is what we've done. And we are just graduated from, a small cult to a real community, and that has, building together. And I really believe that this new, collective or swarm intelligence white paper, this community white paper is a manifesto that enable everyone to participate in the decisions of each chapters and how these chapters will rewrite history and how we together will build legacy for yourself, but your loved ones, and for the next million workers. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for believing in us and trusting us. Now let's make some noise and let's bring board to all-time highs and enjoy it. Thank you so much for your time. Wish you all the best. Much love as always. Uh, be healthy, be wealthy. Love for Borg and equity. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.